The referee says, "What is happening? Who are these guys?" All the gods would be confused and worried. Zeus replies, "Who they are? What happened to Shiva?" Aphrodite would say, "They seem to be very interesting guys. Apparently the man Goku knows them." Zeus would be a little upset. Loki would say, "Damn it, who do these guys think they are?" Zeus and Loki descend into the combat arena. Ares would be confused. Odin would say, "I have a bad feeling in all this." Vegeta would yell at Raiden for challenging Beerus to a fight. Vegeta would say, "Shut up, insect." Beerus would say, "We'll now meet at Raiden is strong, but not all of you an opponent for you." "Mr. Beerus, Raiden is strong, but not at all an opponent for you." Beerus would say, "A flight is a flight. Obey and go out." Zeus would say, "Ha ha, who are you?" Zeus would stare at Beerus and he suddenly feels something strange. The body of Zeus communicates to him that there is a great danger in front of him, one who he must not oppose. Zeus says, "I see that you are not normal beings. Are you a god or something?" Vegeta in his mind would say, "Damn, this gets more and more complicated." Beerus would say, "Are you the boss here? Your presence is one of the strongest in this place." Zeus would say, "Unbelievable. He deduced that just by looking at me. Stop complicating things and get out of here. I suggest you watch your words when addressing Mr. Beerus, otherwise you will be eliminated as the other subject." The referee with a trembling voice says, "Mr. Zeus, this guy wants to fight with the humor. What should we do?" "Hold on, what do you mean they will be eliminated like the other subject?" Beerus, annoyed, says, "Disappears from my sight." Vegeta screams, "Oh, but if you don't want to die." "Wait a minute. That explains why Shiva did not appear. You have anything to do with it? Confess." Beerus stares at Loki. "What's going on? Why do you look at me like this?" Loki stares at Beerus. Suddenly, fear covers his whole body. "Why does my body feel heavy? Who is that subject?" "My body screams at me that I must run away." Beerus raises his hand in front of Loki's face, charging Hawkeye energy. "You are just as annoying as the other guy. You are all just a bummer." Loki would be trembling with fear and would immediately recognize that he's no match for Beerus. "Mr. Beerus, please do not do it." Zeus, "Ha ha ha, so you want to fight the gods? I think it's more than perfect. Let him apparently fight, as he's very powerful." "What? Then he will fight?" As you hear, Beerus disappeared is Hawkeye. Loki felt a great relief when Beerus ignored him. "Ah, what a problem. I wish you luck. We need to win to be able to match this." "Hey, old man, that being who is sleeping under this Colosseum is very interesting." Zeus would be surprised and started to sweat. Zeus comes out of the arena without saying a word. "Whoa, apparently you're an interesting guy. I'm excited. Apparently any last I could use all my strength." "That interesting. Although I do not feel a strong presence in you, and you may be like Goku and the others." "What do you mean?" "I speak of you hiding your true power from me." Raiden is surprised. This one smiles. "Very well then, I will present them again. Did you hear? This fight is about to start. I don't understand why you guys are there." Goku and Vegeta as well as Whis retire from the combat arena. "Very well, apparently there is a last-minute change. Now we will start with the 5th battle of Ragnarok. On the human side, we have the fighter Raiden, a warrior who has dedicated his whole life to sumo. And this time, on part of the gods, we have Mr. Beerus, a strange being that appeared out of nowhere. Zeus himself allowed him to participate after the human Raiden challenged him to a confrontation. All the gods at the stands would be confused and surprised by the news. "That subject will represent us? Who is he?" The gods, you'd cause a scandal of such news. "We don't know who he is. We can't let someone like him represent us. We can't afford to lose the next showdown." Zeus from his throne says, "Stick your mouth if you don't want to be killed by that guy." Darius defeated the god who would represent us in the 5th combat, and thus earned the right to replace him. All the gods would be silent at the words of Zeus. Everyone would be very nervous about what might happen, but the most nervous was still Zeus. "Pow! I have a bad premonition in all this." Zeus remembers the words of Beerus, exactly as Beerus said, a being that was still sleeping under the Colosseum of Ragnarok. About 10 years below the combat arena, there was a laboratory where Beelzebub, one of the gods that would participate in the Ragnarok experiment. But that experiment area became a containment room, where a being with a disgusting appearance slept. A being from another world. The end is near. Very soon he will wake up. The referee shouts, "Let the 5th fight begin." Raiden takes a handful of salt with him and votes it in the air. That sauce could have been used for a good meal. Never in my life have I been able to use 100% of my strength. And now I'm able to do it. That is the Beerus who is supposed to be stronger than you. Goku just smiles. What an unexpected event. Vegeta would be somewhat intrigued. What happens, Vegeta? I have a bad feeling about this, but it's not because of Raiden's fight against Mr. Beerus. Beerus told the old man that a being sleeping under the arena of combat is interesting. The old man became nervous when he heard those words, and you and I felt that powerful presence. Something tells me that Beerus' intentions are different. Gohan would remember his quarrel with Hercules. In my comrade with Hercules, he told me something about maybe I could save them all. Could it be that Hercules was referring to that subject? Goku with a serious face would say, that being really must be strong. If Mr. Beerus was interested in him, he must be very interesting. Indeed, Goku and Vegeta would be surprised. Where do I get here? Mr. Beerus wanted to test his due strength against the two of you in this tournament. That was the purpose of his visit. But when he arrived here, he felt the presence of an anonymous being, the same being that stole all the attention of Mr. Beerus. He tried to say that this being is stronger than us too. I never said that, but it could be. We will see the capacity of his power when he wakes up. Being more exact, when his fifth fight is over. Gohan would be really surprised. Brunhilde and Gol would be really scared by everything they hear. I don't understand anything. What's going on? Brunhilde screams, no way! Why is all this happening now? What's wrong? Exists! That being exists! Hercules once told me, but I never believed him. Nothing seemed like a story created by a child. What exactly did Hercules tell you? Let's start at once. Attack. Raiden attacks Beerus with a flying kick, but Beerus was able to stop that blow with a single finger. Is that your strength? What a disappointment. I know that you are not a normal being. You are above any god here. I could know at the moment you were about to kill that other god. Even the old man who was supposed to be one of the strongest among all the gods allowed you to fight in this combat. If you had been any guide, those gods would have already annihilated you. Am I right? You are right. These present gods are nothing but trash. But there is someone here who stole all my attention, and he's underneath this combat arena. Raiden is shocked by the information Beerus gave him. Raiden stares at the ground he steps on. Someone who stole your attention must be a very interesting guy. But since we are in a fight here, only one can come out the winner. What are you planning? I've never used 100% of my strength, since my body could not stand it. So for this fight, I had the opportunity to use the Volunder together with my future beloved Thur. So if you allow me in the next blow, I will use all my strength. Beerus would be somewhat confused. Volunder? Beloved? I see you are a seducer. Very well. If you teach me all your strength, I will teach you what I can be capable of. Attack me. I will receive your blow. Answer. What did Hercules tell you? Brunhilde with a broken and nervous voice says, I refer to Azathoth, a being from the outside, to be more accurate. A god from the outside. Azathoth? God from the outside? Interesting. It is something similar to a destroyer god. Brunhilde screams in despair. No, Azathoth is chaos. He is above everyone. He will destroy everything. Brunhilde would be entering into despair. Gol would be very worried at not knowing what to go on. Gol would say, Sister, please calm down. Gol had never seen his sister behave that way. Goku would care about Brunhilde and say, reassure yourself, if something bad happens, we will help them. Brunhilde, while reassuring herself, said, I'm sorry for my behavior. Now I will explain everything. This information only has the gods of high level. I only know because Hercules told me at the time. I thought it was just a silly story to scare me, but apparently it really exists. I feel very bad for not having believed Hercules. He's one of the few who knew of this, since Zeus had great confidence in him. Brunhilde proceeds to tell everything. The gods are divided into 4 categories. Outer gods, elder gods, archetype gods, and minor deities. Minor deities are explained by their own name. We could say that they are demigods, or like me, Walkari gods of low rank. Elder gods are ones that are beings of incredible power, but above them are the outer gods, cosmic and absolute deities. Their conception surpasses this compression of any human intelligence. They are the progenitors of the elder gods. They are also the creators of the universe itself, the pillar of the same god Azoth, and the first and most powerful among them all. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and Whis himself would be surprised. Brunhilde would say, they were also the archetypal gods. This last saying are the enemy deities of the elder gods, and the outer gods, they are the present gods. You mean the old man? So as Zeus is the pillar god, of the archetypal gods, the gods of gods. I understand what you are trying to say, that this Azoth is the enemy chief of the old Zeus. But now that they have him, tell me, what is the reason why they do not end it? Because there is no one capable of killing Azathoth. I keep telling you the story. What's going on? Apparently Raiden is going to make another move. Raiden absorbs a lot of air by releasing it little by little. Raiden in his mind would say, I can now master them to the fullest. Raiden would say, referring to his muscles, we can't play with this guy. I have to give it all in my next move. I'm waiting. Apparently Raiden is planning to attack again. The sumo technique that Raiden had taken is the most powerful move of the Tefl. Thanks to the muscle control allowed by the Bolunder, this would be a devastating attack. 100% Raiden strength in one move. Raiden jumps towards Beerus. Excitement had returned among the gods. Humans as never shouted Raiden's name. Raiden, a few inches from Beerus, quickly shifts his muscle and all his strength to his hand. Crush it! Brunhilde screams. If Azoth wakes up, we will all disappear. This is why we cannot interrupt the gods who keep him asleep. And suddenly, Brunhilde, Goku, and the others hear a sound of a big bang. Beerus had received the blow from Raiden. A large curtain of dust covers the scene. We did it! It is another victory! What happened? I was so focused on Brunhilde's story that I didn't even realize what was happening in combat. Raiden would be surprised and nervous. What a disappointment. For an ordinary human, it wasn't bad. How is it possible? The dust gradually fades. The humans and gods in the stands are shocked. Bill scratches! Beerus doesn't have a scratch! Beerus decides to take Raiden's blow head-on, but this one had no effect on him. It's also. Now do you understand the difference of our powers? Now, as I promised before, I'll teach you a little of the power of a true god. Raiden takes a few steps back. Referee says, what's wrong? Apparently Beerus is going to do something. Beerus rises to heaven. Referee says, it's flying! Beerus is flying! Zeus and the other gods were very worried. Gohan, what do you plan to do? As I guessed, Beerus' plan from the beginning was always that. Goku would be worried, but at the same time excited. And what's wrong? Beerus will awaken that Azathoth. With this, it will be enough. I still do not intend to destroy this planet. Beerus drops a small light of power. When it hits the ground, a great explosion covers the whole of Ragnarok. Wake up once and for all, sleepyhead. Brunhilde screams, no, the time has come. All the gods and humans would watch in great fear as the devastating power of Beerus. Interesting. Oh, tell me, what are those things? Here, wait. He is? That's Azathoth? Whis would reply, interesting. Brunhilde would say, no, it can't be true, it really exists. Brunhilde's skin would turn pale from fear. A being of enormous size would appear below the Ragnarok, and next to him came out another disgusting-looking being. Beerus would say, what are those things? Ah, that guy is still asleep after the big explosion. He is a lazy Beerus himself. Whis would approach Beerus. Brunhilde would be hitting the floor since all her plans to save the human race would be spoiled. Gaul would be worried. Zeus knew he couldn't do anything. I knew that very soon I would wake up, but I never imagined that someone else would come looking for you. Tell me, old man, what exactly that thing is, and one of those monsters that surround him. I can consider you as a god of the exterior. I know nothing about you, but you are evidently very powerful. Let me tell you something. Listen carefully. Nothing and no one is a match for Azathoth. Once the awakened, all life will perish. Goku and Vegeta would be listening carefully. All the humans and gods in the stands would be confused as they knew nothing. Those monsters that surround Azathoth really are gods who keep him asleep. That symphony is the only thing that can reassure Azathoth. But once that symphony is turned up, the awakening and the end of the world is what awaits us. Are you trying to say that Azathoth is a destroyer? He can erase everything just by waking up. Do you know what is truly chilling about this being? Azathoth is known as a god from the outside. The gods of the outside are considered the most powerful gods in the universe. These gods are very intelligent, can create and destroy everything. But Azathoth is the opposite. What do you mean? The mentality of that god is of a 4-year-old boy. And to make matters worse, the monster is considered the strongest and most terrifying god among the gods. Since when are you here? That's the least important thing. I've decided that you can't take care of Azathoth. I will take him to the underworld and imprison him, and thus prevent things like this from happening. You won't be able to do any of that. You, Poseidon, and I decided that you would be the one to take care of this being, and this was the result. You are an idiot. How the hell could you think of doing Ragnarok on top of this monster? Ha ha. First, calm down. The end of the world was written by the Sisters of Destiny. The gods who kept Azathoth asleep are dying. After those 2 words, 2 gods who worked to keep Azathoth asleep pass away, leaving only 1 god at work. The energy of those gods is coming to an end, and they are only one who could keep Azathoth asleep. So this guy is a dangerous guy. Whis would look for more information on Azathoth. Who is that guy? He's the other reason why you will not be able to do anything. When Zeus began Ragnarok appeared these things that seemed to be from another world. Even Thor and Poseidon himself were easily defeated by those beings of human appearance. Hate would be impressed. And that guy who is levitating seems to be a god from the outside. No, I understand. That explains everything. Hate helped me by getting me material for my experiments. All I had to do was keep him informed about the awakening of this monster. Enough talk. Beerus would go down to the ground and approach Azathoth. What's happening? The end of the world is on the back of that god who agonizes. Still, he continues to play that melody that keeps Azathoth asleep. Does that mean we will all die? We do. But they... What do you mean old? I'm still not quite sure. All we can do is wait. Sister, calm down. Even Ares himself is here. There is no more hope. Has to see something we can do, otherwise Hercules would never tell me that we would be the only ones who could save them. Katarot, Gohan, let's go to Beerus, and the others from here. We can't do anything. Very well. Hey, monster, stop playing that tune. Let Azathoth wake up. How dare he call the monster that god who has spent a large amount of his life protecting us all. I don't care who they are and how powerful those guys are. I don't care that that guy there killed Shiva. We have to do something. We can't let Azathoth wake up. Loki, Hades, Aphrodite, and Hermes would go down to where Beerus is, except Odin. He would stay watching everything from his throne. The god who plays the melody ignores Beerus. You would leave me no choice. Beerus would raise his hand, creating the Hakai. I won't say it again. Stop playing that tune. The god does not flinch. Haha, he doesn't listen to you. These gods have no ears or no eyes, and they lack senses. Wait, created by gods from outside solely for this purpose. Millions of years have passed. Millions of years that have not stopped playing this melody, but the time has come. The moment for their lives to shut themselves down. Mr. Beerus, will there be no other way to fix things? If this being awakens, this world will be in danger. Loki angrily says, wait a minute. We won't let you do what you want. I don't care who you are or whether or not you are of this world. Get out of here. You are nothing but annoyances. Beerus with a serious lip says, and if I don't want to leave, tell me what you'll do. Loki with all the courage in the world tries to hit Beerus, but Vegeta appears defending Beerus by hitting Loki in the abdomen, leaving him out of combat. At that very moment, he realized the great strength of Vegeta and understood how Thor and Poseidon himself were defeated by the Saiyans. Calm down, Worm. Do nothing you may regret. Zeus would laugh. This may be fate after all. The awakening of Azathoth was already written, but the appearances of warriors who changed the color of their hair and of a god from the outside who would defy Azathoth himself. I never saw him. Perhaps you can change the destiny of the world. Mr. Beerus, let me tell you something important. Before you do anything crazy... What is it about? I was doing some research. I delayed in getting this information because apparently the being in front of you is the same existence. The same existence? The role that this god plays is as great as that of Zeno-sama himself. Beerus shouts, Zeno-sama? What do you mean? Beerus would begin to worry. Whis would say, this god is the creator of the entire existence, not only of this universe but of a large part of the multiverse. Vegeta and Goku would worry about. Beerus would say, what the hell are you talking about, Whis? This guy's a danger to everyone. Whis would reply, Mr. Beerus, you did not have to rush things first. But don't worry, even if this being awakens, nothing will happen to us since we belong to a multiverse very different and far away from him. Beerus would say, I understand, for a moment just scare me. Whis, very serious, would say, Mr. Beerus, that's not all. What's really worrying is that what might happen next? Vegeta would be a little nervous and say, what does Whis mean? Whis would reply, I speak that the power of this being can be as destructive as that of Zeno-sama himself, and if so, we will not be able to do anything. Beerus would be very worried. Beerus would say, how is it possible for such a thing to exist? Whis would say, Mr. Beerus, you must know better than anyone, just as there are mediocre gods, as they are in this place, there are also gods who can live up to the great Zeno-sama. The multiverse space and time is so large that we could say that it is unlimited. Beerus would reply, Whis? Tell me exactly what could happen if this god stops playing that melody and Azathoth awakens. Whis would say, I still do not know exactly, but most likely all life and existence disappears. Or maybe this being is a merciful god and does nothing that nobody knows. But apparently the gods of this place are very afraid of him. Goku would say, if something bad happens and if this Azathoth god decides to erase everything and we're still alive, I promise you that I will do everything possible to return everything to normal, and if possible, defeat Azathoth himself. Zeus, Hades, and Beelzebub are surprised by Goku's words. Beerus would shout, are you deaf or an idiot? Did you not understand that this being may be at the level of Zeno-sama himself? And if so, nobody will be able to deal with him. Goku would say, calm down, Mr. Beerus. Nobody knows that yet. Besides, if something goes wrong, I'll call little Zeno-sama with this button to help us. Whis would be surprised and say, I didn't know we'd have that option. Beerus would say, call Zeno-sama? Don't even think about it. What do you think will happen when Zeno-sama discovers that the god of Universe 7 is involved in all of this? The most important thing now is to keep alive the god who plays that melody. He's our only savior, after the words of Beerus. Raiden comes out of the rubble product of the explosion that Beerus created. Raiden would be badly injured and would see everything in a blur. Raiden quickly stands up and looks at a blurred silhouette, and with all of his strength, if the last god that was keeping Azathoth asleep. Raiden would say, at last, I'll give you a good blow, Beerus.